I'm not mad at him or blame him because I turned out okay. So grab your favorite drink, take a deep breath, and let's have this conversation together. What I didn't realize was how much that relationship influenced how I saw myself. Hi, friends. Welcome back to Living Your Truest Self. If you're here, again, thank you. And if you're new, I'm Christina, a certified Jay Shetty coach, a full-time professional, a mom, a wife, and the oldest daughter in a family of 10. Now, this space is about deep, real conversations, the kind that makes us feel seen, heard, and understood, and connected to one another. Today, we're diving into a tough but very important topic: healing from complicated relationship with a parent. Specifically, in my case, the father-daughter relationship. If you've ever struggled with feeling unseen, misunderstood, or even hurt by a parent, I want you to know you're not alone, and this episode is for you. This isn't about blaming or holding on to resentment. I want to make that clear. It's about finding healing, peace, and freedom from the weight that that relationship may still have on you today. So grab your favorite drink, take a deep breath, and let's have this conversation together. Fathers play a huge role in shaping how we see ourselves, whether they're present, absent, supportive, or distant, loving or critical. It all leaves a mark. For some, their dad was their protector, their guide. For others, the relationship was complicated. Maybe he was emotionally unavailable. Maybe he was harsh. Maybe he just didn't know how to show love in a way that made sense to you. What makes this so difficult is that society paints this picture of what a father-daughter relationship should look like. And when ours doesn't match that, it can make you feel like something is wrong with you. We are embarrassed about it when we are young because we don't want others to think strangely of us. We want to paint the picture of living in such a perfect family, right? And that there's constant love and that we are cared for. We carry it in as a big dark secret that makes us feel as though we are the problem. But I want you to know it's not you. Just to help you understand, I'll share a personal story, a memory, or a moment that shaped a lot of who I am today. One of the biggest struggles I had with my dad was that he never let me express myself. He constantly shut me down, dismissed my opinions, made me feel like my voice didn't matter. I remember one moment so vividly. I was probably about 12, and we were getting ready to watch a movie. I wanted to make popcorn, but for some reason, my dad decided I wasn't going to do it. I don't remember exactly if he even explained why. He just said no. Even when I tried to ask why, I saw a look in his eyes and I knew all hell was about to break loose. And that was how it was always. No discussion, no reasoning, just his decision. And that was final. Growing up like that shaped me in ways I didn't even realize at the time. It made me feel like I had to fight for my ideas, no matter how small, because I was so afraid of being shut down. A simple no didn't just feel like a no. It felt like a rejection, like a battle I had to win. I grew up with defensiveness. Most importantly, I've learned to forgive. I forgave my dad, not because what he did was okay, but because I understand now. He was young, raising 10 kids, carrying the weight of providing for a family, struggling with his own need of control. And he did what he thought was right with the knowledge and the tools he had at the time. I'm not mad at him or blame him because I turned out okay. A girl that knows her place in the world and stands up for herself. I think that's pretty good. And that's enough for me to finally let go. For a long time, though, I did carry that weight. And what I didn't realize was how much that relationship influenced how I saw myself, how I handled conflict, even how I approached other relationships in my life. Let's be real. Our childhood relationships don't just stay in the past. They follow us. They grow with us. Maybe you struggle with feeling good enough. Like you always have to prove yourself because deep down you never felt seen by your father. Or maybe you have a hard time trusting men because the first man in your life, the one who was supposed to show you love and safety, let you down. Or maybe you overcompensate, constantly trying to earn love, attention, and validation because that's what you had to do growing up. However it shows up, I want you to know that just because you learned certain patterns doesn't mean you have to keep them. You have the power to unlearn them, to heal, to create new beliefs about yourself. Healing doesn't mean you'll never feel triggered again. It means when those triggers show up, you don't let them control you. A trigger is when something in the present moment, maybe a tone of voice, a certain phrase, a look, a facial expressions, pulls you back into that old emotional wound. For example, if your father was overly critical, like mine, you might find yourself feeling deeply hurt by any kind of constructive feedback, even when it's not meant to be harsh. If he was emotionally unavailable, you might shut down in relationships whenever you sense distance, even if it's temporary or, not real. Pause and acknowledge it. Say to yourself, this reaction is coming from an old wound, not necessarily from what's happening right now, and separate the past from the present. Ask, is this situation the same as my past, or does it just feel similar? And handle it with grounding yourself. Breathe. Journal. Take a walk. Reconnect with who you are today, not the person you were when you first formed that wound. Rewire your response. Instead of reacting automatically, choose different responses, one that reflects the healed, empowered version of you. Breaking the cycle and reclaiming your worth is one of the hardest but most powerful tips I've learned. Healing doesn't mean you're waiting for an apology that may never come. Healing comes from understanding you get to decide how the relationship defines you. You get to choose what you carry forward and what you let go of. Sometimes your parents did the best they could with what they knew, but sometimes that still wasn't good enough for what we needed. Both can be true at the same time. When I started seeing my father, not just as my dad, but as a human with his own struggles and wounds, I was able to step out of the resentment and into understanding. That doesn't mean I'm excusing the hurtful behavior. It just means I'm freeing myself from the burden of carrying it. Healing isn't about pretending things didn't hurt. It's about acknowledging them and deciding that they don't control your future. It's okay to set boundaries. It's okay to love someone, but not allow them to keep hurting you. And it's okay to grieve the relationship you wish you had, while still making peace with the one you do have. Some of us will choose to rebuild and reconnect with our fathers. Others may need love from a distance, and some may realize that the healthiest thing they can do is walk away. There's no right way to heal, only the way that brings you peace. So whatever you're doing needs to create peace inside. If you're doing any of these and it doesn't feel good, stop, reflect, and ask yourself, do I feel good inside? Because it's about you right now. You're grown up. You get to decide what stays inside of your body. And, reframe the narrative. These are practical tips that I've learned that help me get through the relationship with my father, because I believe I have a good relationship with him now, and I'm not triggered by him anymore. And I can sit here and talk about it. So that's good. Here are my practical tips of how to heal from a difficult parent-child relationship. Reframe the narrative. Instead of, why wasn't I loved the way I needed? Ask, how can I give myself the love now? Release the expectation of closure. Sometimes the healing comes without the apology or change you wanted. Your peace doesn't have to depend on them. So just forgive them for yourself, in your soul, and move on with grace. Don't carry that stuff for them. Let it go for you. Recognize and manage triggers. Notice when old wounds surface and practice separating the past from the present. Disconnect the feeling and look at what is actually happening right now. Is it different from what you feel triggered by? Redefine family on your terms. You get to choose who supports you, loves you, and lifts you up. You get to choose your circle, so choose a circle that makes you feel good inside. Blood is not the only bond that matters. Seek support, whether it's therapy, a coach, a trusted friend, a loved one, a husband. Don't carry this alone. Healing happens in community. I'd love to hear from you. What's something that you've healed from in a tough relationship? Drop a comment below or share this with someone who might need it. And if this episode spoke to you, hit the like button and subscribe so we can keep having these honest, real conversations. You are worthy of love exactly as you are, and no relationship, past or present, can take that away from you. See you next time.